So yesterday we discussed about what are the types of operating systems. We have Microsoft family, Windows, and Unix family. Windows, we have a client OS and server OS. Laptop always client operating system. Server means multi-user. Won't deploy any application like PhonePe, Google Pay, Gmail.com, Yahoo.com. All these are applications. To deploy our application, we need a server operating system, not the client operating system. Whereas Unix, we don't have a client, all are servers. Linux, Solaris, HP Unix, all are server operating system, no client Windows. And we also discussed about device driver, what is monolithic and what is modular. And we also discussed about the difference between Windows architecture, Unix architecture. Before we go for shell scripting, you need to understand what is shell, what is architecture. So in Windows, user can directly interact with the kernel. Yesterday, I told you that for all Unix operating system, the kernel is same. That's why we call flavors of Unix. For all Windows operating system, the kernel is same because kernel always monolithic. Monolithic means cannot be uninstalled, cannot be removed. When the kernel is same, why they named as Windows 10, Windows 11? All these are upgrade version. We cannot uninstall the kernel, but we can upgrade the kernel. In mobile, we are using the kernel. What is that? iOS. iOS is operating system. Android. This is called kernel. Operating system, kernel, both are same. We cannot uninstall the Android or iOS, but we can upgrade it. That is called upgradation. The kernel is same. All these are upgrade versions. Windows kernel is graphical mode. Unix kernel is CLI. CLI stands command line. No desktop, no graphical. If at all you want to work with any Microsoft family, I need a keyboard. Sorry, I need a mouse. Without mouse, we can't able to work. If it is Microsoft, you want to work with any Unix family, I need a keyboard because of CLI, command line interface. Without keyboard, we can't able to work. Here, I log into the AWS Cloud, Linux server, AWS Cloud. This is called Unix. Why it is Unix? Because of CLI. How to know that? Is it Linux or Solaris or HP Unix or IBM UX? How to know what flavor of Unix it is? Run the command uname -s. What is uname -s? To see that what flavor of Unix it is. There is difference between Microsoft family and Unix family.
Sir, are you sharing any screen?
Oh, I did not share.
No, I cannot see the screen.
Just a minute. So this is my Linux server in AWS Cloud. This is called CLI, command line interface. How to check that what flavor of Unix it is? Run the command uname -s. It is showing that it's a Linux. You want to see the kernel version, uname -r. This is my kernel, 6.8.0, 1021. This is my kernel version. So this is the difference between Microsoft family and Unix family. So yesterday we discussed all this stuff. Now, we discussed about what is client, what is server. Client, Windows 7 or Windows 10, Windows 11. In Microsoft, Windows 10, 11 or the client operating system. A laptop is a client, desktop is a client. Servers are Windows 2012, 2012, Windows 2016, 2016, Windows 2019, 2019. All these are server operating system. When client is Windows, server also Windows. Both are Microsoft family. When both are Microsoft family, we call it as homogeneous. Meaning of homogeneous, the kernel is same. We can't change the kernel, we cannot remove the kernel. The kernel is same. That's why we call it as homogeneous. Tomorrow you join as a Windows administrator, or I'm AWS Cloud Admin. This is the server in AWS Cloud. Instance, nothing but a server. So if you join for Linux, Linux shell scripting, I'll explain you how to create the account in AWS. It's a free account for 1 year, and how to log into the Linux server, how to launch Linux servers, how to access the server, internet, all this stuff I'll explain. So here we have a option called launch instance. Just hold on for a few seconds. Yeah, hello. Am I audible?
Yes.
Are you able to see the desktop?
Yes.
Okay. So when client is Windows, server also Windows, both we called homogeneous. So this is the server, instance, nothing but a server. Click on launch instance. You see, all these are Linux operating system. Amazon Linux, Mac OS, Ubuntu. Click on Windows. In the cloud, there's no client OS, only server operating systems. When you click on here, there is no Windows 10, Windows 11, 2025, 2022. All these are server operating systems. So deploy, you want to deploy our application, we always deploy on the server OS, either Windows or Unix or Linux. So when both are Windows, client, my laptop is Windows, but AWS or Azure Cloud, I launch Windows Server, both are Microsoft family, then we call it as homogeneous. Assume that the clients are Windows, Windows 10 or Windows 11, the server is Linux. Here, when client is Windows, server is Windows, what protocol? How do you able to connect? By using RDP. RDP stands Remote Desktop Protocol. With the help of RDP, you are able to connect to the server in AWS Cloud from Windows client, from your laptop. This is called Windows to Windows. Assume that my laptop is a Mac OS. What is Mac OS? Nothing but Unix operating system. Mac OS is Unix operating system. But server is Linux. Both are Unix family, means homogeneous. The kernel is same. Both are Unix family, kernel is same. How you are able to connect? SSH stands Secured Shell. But real time, most of the cases, you're working as a developer or you're working as a cloud admin, DevOps engineer, Java developer. Most of the cases, 90%, more than 90%, your laptop clients always Windows. Windows 10, Windows 10 or Windows 11. But the servers always Linux. Then how you're going to connect? When clients are Windows, server is Unix or Linux, this is called heterogeneous. What is the meaning of heterogeneous? Windows to Unix. Windows to Unix, that is called heterogeneous. Windows kernel is graphical mode, GUI mode. Linux kernel is CLI, command line interface. Both are different kernel. How you are able to connect? By using a third-party software that is called download and install the PuTTY third-party software on your laptop. Click on the PuTTY tool. Copy the IP address of the server. Copy the IP address of the server here. Username is Ubuntu. Click on open. You got connected to the Linux server, where the server is on internet. This is called heterogeneous. Real time, we are going to work only in heterogeneous environment. Heterogeneous means what? The clients always Windows, servers always Linux. All these practicals I'll explain you before I start shell scripting classes. I'll explain all this in the AWS cloud. Next, client and server. As I told you that front end and back. What is front end? What is back end? Windows always front end. Unix or Linux always back end. What's the meaning of front end? Front end means you're able to see that. You go to ATM, all the ATM machines are windows. That is called front end. You have physical access. Tomorrow, if you go to interview as a Linux administrator or a cloud admin or DevOps engineer, they might ask a question, what is your physical access? What is your physical access? You should tell that my physical access is laptop, where Windows is installed. That is called front end. All ATM machines are Windows. Backend means we don't know where the servers are. We can't able to see that. Insert ATM card with the PIN number. Your ATM card is username. The PIN name is a password. Where that username passwords are in the database. Where the database installed on Linux server. Are you able to see this? These servers in real time. We don't know where these servers are. That is called backend. Why database or applications always deploy on Linux server? Why not Windows? One reason is Windows is virus. Unix or Linux, no virus. Yesterday we discussed no virus for Unix. Windows has a downtime. Unix, no downtime. The real time, we should not call it as a downtime, we call it as a outage. Tomorrow, power outage between 3 to 4 means no power. That is called downtime. So, if it is Microsoft family, if I deploy my applications on Windows family, if any issue on the server, I'm trying to resolve that issue, but I'm not able to resolve. The final solution is reboot the server. If I reboot the server, all the problems will be resolved. Sometimes laptop mouse is not working, keyboard is not working. What's the final solution? Reboot the laptop. Any problem, any issues, if you're not able to troubleshoot, the final solution, reboot. What is the problem if I reboot my database server, application server? Database application server, when you reboot it, it will take 3 hours, 4 hours to up the system. 3 to 4 hours downtime to my application, 3 to 4 hours downtime to the end user, customer. Have you remembered that 4 months, 6 months back, WhatsApp is down for 1 hour? 2, 3 years back, WhatsApp is down for 3 hours. 7 years back, Facebook is down for 5 hours. That is called downtime. If Google Pay is down for 3 hours or 1 hour, all my customers switch to the phone pay. That is called downtime. They lose the business. But Unix or Linux, we never shut down, we never reboot. Now you understood why we should learn Linux, why not Windows? Right. Compare with Windows with Linux. As I told you that Windows has a virus, Linux, no virus. Windows is licensed software, Linux, no license required. It's a freeware. Windows needs a specific hardware, no specific hardware required for Linux. What's the meaning of this? If at all you want to install any Microsoft family, I need minimum 1 GB RAM, minimum 2 GB RAM, and 10 GB storage. 2 GB RAM, 10 GB storage. For Linux, we can install Linux operating system with 1.4 MB RAM, 1 MB RAM, and 1.44 MB storage. 15-20 years back, there was no pen drives, no DVDs, no pen drives. In place of that, we used to use floppy drive. The floppy capacity is 1.44 MB. You can install or you can copy Linux kernel in a floppy. We can carry the floppy. So no specific hardware is required. Linux, we have two variants. One is called freeware. The other one, Red Hat distribution software. Red Hat distribution software, which is licensed software. It's not a free. The freeware versions are 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. Latest and current is 11.0, sorry, 19.0. That's the freeware version. License software versions are 1.0, 2.0, latest current is 9.0. Why there is a difference here? Why? Because freeware versions released for every 6 months. License software not for every 6 months, for every 2.5 years. That is difference between freeware and license. You can ask, when this software is available free of cost, why should I purchase license software? Generally, where we use Windows, Microsoft family, where we use Unix or Linux family, Unix operating system. Why we always purchase laptop with Windows? Why not Linux? We can purchase laptop with Ubuntu Linux. We can purchase laptop with MacBook, Mac OS. Why we prefer Windows? Because of Windows for entertainment, playing the games, watching the movies. Windows is user friendly because everything is graphical. But Unix or Linux, not for entertainment, only for databases or applications. You can deploy your application database on freeware, but no support from Red Hat. Support only license software. That's the reason you have to purchase license in the real time for support. But when you are using this Linux from AWS Cloud, there is a license pre-installed. By default, you'll be having the support if it is AWS Cloud or Azure Cloud. In Linux, we have so many variants. We also call flavors. Those are Red Hat, CentOS, Ubuntu, Fedora, SUSE Linux, Puppy Linux, Kali Linux. Like that, there are more than 100 distributions are there. All this comes under Linux family. Linux comes under Unix family. Yesterday we discussed about Unix flavors, right? What are the Unix flavors? Linux, Solaris, HP, IBM, 264 Unix, NCR Unix, Macintosh, AppleTalk, Digital Unix, Co-Unix, all this comes under Unix family. And all this comes under Linux family. And Linux comes under Unix. Where we use Red Hat in the real time. Red Hat Linux is used for DB, database server, production server, application server. CentOS for development, dev service. Ubuntu for testing. You cannot find an environment without CentOS, without Red Hat, without Ubuntu. These three are common. So one more difference between Windows and Linux. No source code is available if it is Microsoft. Linux is open source. What is this open source? While Linux is more popular, no database, no applications without Linux. No servers real time without Linux. Why? Because only one reason, that is called open source. What is this open source? There are two types of codes available. One is called source code. Binary code and source code. Binary means 0 and 1s, machine language. You can't able to understand. Source code is user understandable. If you write the code in Python, all Python developers can understand the code. If you write the code in Java, Java developers can understand. That is called source code, user understandable. For example, We take burger. You want to eat the burger? There are two options: ready-made and homemade. What do you prefer? Ready-made or home? Definitely home. If you know how to prepare the burger, what are the ingredients required, definitely go for homemade. According to, we can prepare the burger according to our taste. That is called source code. This source code is available on internet. You are technically sound. You know the shell scripting. Uh, Shell scripting like shell scripting, kernel programming, network programming, Unix internals. If you're aware of that, you can download the source code from internet. You can develop your own Linux operating system. You can redistribute it. All these are distributors. Linux is not a proprietary operating system. Windows is a proprietary operating system. Who is the proprietor for Windows? Microsoft. Microsoft is the proprietor for Windows. For Sun Solaris, Sun Microsystems. For HP Unix, Hewlett Packard. For IBM AX, IBM. All these are proprietary operating systems. They never give the source code. But Linux, no proprietor. The source code is available. You are technically sound. Download this source code. You can develop your own Linux operating system. You can redistribute it. So all these are distributors. Like for example, take Raja. They develop Raja is a with the programming. Download the source code. He named as a Raja Linux, Sambit Linux, Rahul Linux. Like that, all these are distributors. When you go to this AWS cloud, you'll see that AWS here. AWS also one of the distributors. Mac OS, Ubuntu, all these are distributors. Linux, no proprietor because the source code is available. Because of open source, Linux is more popular. No database, no applications, the real time without Linux. Now you want to know that what flavor of Unix it is. For the command, you name -s. It's a Linux. Under Linux, we have so many variants. Is it Red Hat or Ubuntu or CentOS or Fedora? Run the command. What is this? Ubuntu Linux. Without typing this command, we don't know what flavor of Linux it is. Without typing this command, we don't know what flavor of Unix it is. It will tell the flavor of Unix. It will tell the flavor of Linux. In mobile, we are using operating system called iOS, Android. What is iOS, Android? The kernel is Linux kernel. They named as Android, but what kernel they're using? They're using Linux kernel. If you go to about phone, see the kernel version. When you see the kernel version, you'll see that 10.11 point something. Here 6.8.0. You'll see that 10.11.2 something. Means what? They named as Android or iOS, but internally they're using Linux kernel because Linux is the open source. Right. Coming to the scripting, shell scripting. In Windows, Windows also we have scripting language that is called PowerShell scripting. In Linux or Unix, Unix or Linux both are same. We call it as shell scripting. Why we call shell scripting? Yesterday we discussed about the architecture. Linux or Unix architecture. You cannot directly interact with the kernel. For example, I run the command uname-a, where this command not in the kernel. This command is in the shell. This is called command interpreter. It will check the command. If the syntax is correct, execute the command, pass the command to the kernel. So this is called command interpreter. So whatever program you are writing, the program you are going to write in the shell, that is called shell scripting. Basically, all these are scripting languages. Which are comes under scripting languages? PowerShell, shell scripting, parallel scripting. These are not programming languages. These are scripting languages. Which are comes under programming language? That you know that Java, Python, .NET, all this comes under programming language. So PowerShell scripting, shell scripting only for the few tasks. We can't develop any application with the help of this scripting language. Any scripting language, we can't develop any application. Applications are three types. One is standalone application, web application, mobile app. What is the meaning of application? There are three types: standalone, web, and mobile. What is standalone? Whenever we install operating system in a laptop, some applications are by default deployed. Example, calculator, calendar, all these are comes under standalone. The meaning of standalone, my laptop application you cannot access, your laptop application I cannot access. That is called standalone, only from local system. Web applications again classified as two types. Static, dynamic. Static and dynamic. The difference between static and dynamic. Static web application, we don't require any credentials. Example, like Deccan Chronicle. Any e-paper, all are comes under static. We don't require any credentials, login name, and password. Anyone can access. That is called static. Dynamic web application required credentials. Any net banking application, SBA, Axis Bank, all net banking applications are dynamic, which require credentials. When I click on continue to login, it asks for the credentials, username and password. The Google Pay, Phone Pay also comes under dynamic, which need a password. The gmail.com, yahoo.com, Facebook, all these are dynamic web application which require credentials. When you log in as ATM user with ATM card, that is also dynamic, which require credentials. That is difference between static and dynamic. Mobile application. Any application if you are downloading from Play Store, this comes under mobile application. So you want to develop this kind of application, we require programming language, not the scripting language. There where we are going to use the scripting language. For automation of jobs. Automation of jobs means in the sense, I want to shut down the server late night at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. No need to stay at office till 1 or 2 a.m. Write the command in the automation of job. The job will be scheduled automatically. Whatever day and time you define in that job will be executed automatically. You want to take the backup early in the morning at 5 a.m. You want to take the backup, write the backup command in automation of job. Without your presence, that job will be executed automatically. Like taking the database backup. Generally, database backups we never take in peak hours, daytime. We'll take the backups always non-peak hours, either late nights or early in the morning. Are you going to stay till late night, or are you going to wake up early in the early morning? Not required. We can write the backup command. How to take the database backup? That command we can write it in automation of jobs, or by using scripting also we can take the backup. Instead of writing the command automation of jobs, by scripting also we can take the backup. Write the shell scripting for that. Tomorrow, that's to create 100 users. All the 100 users should be created in one group. Is it possible to create the 100 users through command line? Not possible. Write the script for that. For user and group creation, just write the script for user and group creation. Run the script. Those accounts should be created automatically. Monitoring. CPU monitoring. Disk monitoring, CPU monitoring, memory monitoring, services monitoring. For all this monitoring purpose, write the script. You can see the disk usage, memory usage, services, processor. Generally, there is a separate command for disk monitoring that is called df-h. df-h for disk monitoring. For CPU monitoring, for memory monitoring, we have a command called free-m. This is for memory monitoring. For CPU, there's a command called top. For services monitoring, there's a command called systemctl. But am I going to execute this command every time? Not required. We can write the script for that. Run the script. It is going to give the detailed information about the hard disk usage, CPU, memory, services, everything by just running the script. That's why scripting languages are only for limited tasks. With the help of scripting languages, we can develop this kind of applications. But what I told you that for learning this shell scripting, the mandatory is UNIX or Linux basics or fundamentals. Without Linux fundamentals, Linux basics, we cannot start the shell script. If you have knowledge on Linux administration, it is a added advantage, not a mandatory added advantage. Why? Because Linux administration, we all discussed about this. What is this df-h? All these commands will be covered in Linux administration part. How to create the users, how to create the groups, how to install the software. All this will be covered in Linux administration part. But it is not a mandatory, it's just a added advantage. But Linux basics is mandatory before we start the scripting line, shell scripting. So, any questions? Binary file, executable file, both are same. In Windows, we call as a executable file. Linux, we call as a binary file. Ubuntu is a Linux. So, any questions? Any doubts? Am I clear? Today class? Okay, Monday, I'll give the introduction for shell scripting. Then we'll start the Linux fundamentals, Linux basics. Before I start Linux fundamentals, Linux basics, I'll explain you how to create the account in AWS. AWS account, which is free for 1 year. So that you don't need to install operating system manually in your laptop. Directly, we can launch Linux server from AWS account. We can practice it. So whenever you require, you can launch it, you can connect, you can practice it. I'll explain you how to create the account. I'll explain you how to connect to the Linux servers, the servers in AWS cloud. Then we'll start the Linux fundamentals, Linux basics. Any questions, today class? There's no shell scripting for DevOps, shell scripting for AWS, shell scripting for something else. Learn shell scripting, it will be helpful for everything. Generally, want to go for only purely or as a developer, only shell scripting, no jobs. Learn shell scripting with SQL, PLSQL. Combination SQL, PLSQL. Or shell scripting with DevOps. Or shell scripting with Linux administration. Any combination you require. Only with shell scripting, you never get a job. But the current trend is shell scripting with DevOps. Any question? Okay, see you on Monday, same time.